Welcome to our children's story and family devotional time. Thank you for joining me. And this Sunday is the closest Sunday to June 21st, so it is National Indigenous Sunday. And the reason why on June 21st, or the closest Sunday to June 21st, that we mark Indigenous Sunday is because the 21st of June is the day in the year with the most sunshine. And culturally, for many Indigenous peoples, it is a special day for them. So that's why this day has been chosen. But why do we do it? Well, for one reason, we give thanks to God for our Indigenous brothers and sisters, for their culture, for their music, for their dance, for their clothing, for their food, for the things that they teach us about the creation, and just because they're wonderful people, and we want to give thanks to God. But also, the truth is that our relationship with white people or settler people and Indigenous people, the first people in Canada, has not always been very happy. And there's been a lot of sadness and a lot of mean things and hurtful things done to Indigenous people. And so we want to make that right. We want to improve the way that we live together in our country. And we want, as followers of Jesus, to love our neighbor as ourselves. And so we care deeply for Indigenous peoples in our nations. And we want to say sorry. And we want to say we love you. So that's why we have National Indigenous Sunday. And Indigenous leaders in the church chose the Bible readings for this Sunday. And one of the readings that they chose was a reading I really like from Paul's letter to the Philippians. And in that letter, we'll hear Paul say, whatever is good, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is pleasing and honorable, think about these things. And so on National Indigenous Sunday, as I've already said, we want to think about what is noble and true and good in the cultures and in the lives of Indigenous men and women. That's a great thing for us to do. But Paul also says in this reading, let your gentleness be shown to everyone. Let your gentleness be shown to everyone, not just the people that look like you and act like you, live close to you, but everyone. And gentleness, I think, is also really closely related to kindness. Gentleness, we think of not hurting people, not saying mean things. And kindness, we think of doing good things, helpful things, kind things for others. And so I think of gentleness and kindness sort of all together. And both gentleness and kindness are ways that followers of Jesus are supposed to be. We're supposed to be gentle and kind. Jesus told that story of the Good Samaritan, where a person that was different than the Jewish person who had been robbed and injured, mugged and left on the side of the road, very hurt and all alone. And some people that were like him, were fellow Jewish people, they just ignored him. But the Samaritan, who was different, who had different beliefs, and maybe even looked a little bit different and dressed a little bit different, and had a different perspective on the world. He saw the Jewish person and he helped him. His gentleness was shown. But being gentle doesn't mean there wasn't strength. He helped that man get up and he put him on his donkey. And being gentle didn't mean that he didn't have money and that he used for this, and he paid for this man to stay at the inn and to get food and to have a good night's sleep and to get some care. And it was beautiful. It was gentle. It was kindness. And Jesus said, who's the real neighbor here? And of course, it was the man who was different, was the real neighbor to the man who was hurt. And I think on National Indigenous Sunday, we're called to think about being gentle and kind to everybody, of course, but particularly today to people who are different from us. Maybe their skin color is different than ours. Their language is different than ours. Their culture is different than ours. And we want to be gentle and kind. Some of the ways that we can be gentle and kind to anybody is by maybe we can give people chocolates. I know when my Esther is maybe sick or sad about something, chocolates help her feel better. Sometimes she likes great big jugs of ice cream too, but chocolates often are a way that we say we're thinking of you, being kind and gentle. And this is a get well card. When somebody's sick in the hospital, we write a little card, a little note, and maybe we say a little prayer, and we send it off to cheer the spirits of the person that is sick. Flowers are a great way to say you're thinking of somebody and being kind. Judy Rose gave Esther this beautiful rose plant. And Judy and Esther, I did water it today. But what a nice, kind thing for Judy to do, because she knows that Esther likes to garden, and it would help her garden, our garden, look better and more beautiful. But you know, one of the best ways to be gentle and to be kind is to just listen to other people, to learn about other people, to listen to their joys, what makes them happy about life, and to listen to them when they're sad and when they're hurt and why they feel that way. Just being a good listener to your friends, or maybe children other kids that you don't really know that well, but to just listen to their stories is a wonderful way of being gentle. Jesus did this, again, to somebody who was different from him. I just thought of this as I'm recording this story for you, but it's a great example. Jesus met a Samaritan woman who was different from him because she was a Samaritan, and she was different from him because she was a woman, and she was different from him because her lifestyle was a bit different, and Jesus listened to her. He talked to her. He said things too, important things. But he listened to her. And when she was so excited and she went back to her home, she said, I have met somebody that knows all about me. In other words, he listened to her. And it changed her life. And in fact, she told all kinds of other people in her community about Jesus. And if we listen to each other, it's a great way of being kind and gentle. And we're following the example of Jesus. And so I've asked, as far as I know, we only have one Indigenous person at Christ Church St. James. We pray and hope that many Indigenous people might join us and join our Christian community. That would be fantastic. But right now, we just have one person, and her name is Ernestine. And I've asked her to tell us a little bit about herself. So right away, we're going to practice gentleness and kindness. So, boys and girls, and everybody at home that might be watching this video, as I already mentioned, one of the ways to be gentle and to be kind is to just listen. And to listen to people's stories. And on National Indigenous Sunday, I thought we could do that right away by listening to my friend Ernestine. So the first question I'm going to ask Ernestine is to just tell us one or two things that bring you a lot of joy about being an Indigenous person.
Okay. Well, first and foremost, for me being an Indigenous woman, I get to experience a lot of creativity, which I really enjoy. I do make purses, earrings, all sorts of moccasins, you name it, pretty much can do it. Being a Native woman, I was teased as a child a lot. It hurt. But I learned to stand on my own and to be strong. To not allow someone to put you down, to make fun of you, to hurt your feelings, to tease you, to belittle you, is unacceptable. So for me, I guess using the phrase, "Thank God this didn't happen to you," that's a pretty powerful phrase in itself, because it gave me a sense of encouragement and a sense of strength, but also a factor in knowing that somewhere in here and in my body that I am changing. Took me a long time to realize that I was a Christian. I was really fearful of that word, didn't really like the word, and certainly didn't want to read about the word. So I found that I had difficulty, but coming to know the Lord for who He is and what He does for me in my life is very important. I was baptized when I was 49, and I am 59 today. So my love for the Lord is one day at a time, 1 minute at a time sometimes. I do try to put my best foot forward when it comes to volunteering and when it comes to helping others when it's needed. Singing is also a favorite pastime of mine. Some days I sing really good and other days I suck at it, but it's so good. So is there anything else you'd like
Well, Ernestine, could you tell me one story of when it was hard, or when you experienced sadness because of being an Indigenous person?
It was during high school at that time. I was 14 years old. And this younger gentleman, I guess, I would call him a gentleman because, I really didn't know him, but he was rather cruel, very mean, and used hurtful words against me because of my disability. I have polio, so it makes my walking sometimes difficult, other times it isn't, but it is painful. This individual, unfortunately, who had been mean and using words that were very hurtful, very shameful, looking at him and saying to him, "Thank God this isn't happening to you." And for some reason that just shut him up.
Okay.
and helped me to be a little bit more encouraging. It's like I had this gift from God to say, okay, Ernestine, it's time to stand on your own 2 feet. You can do this. You know, so I was kind of self-protecting too. That's where I grow my strengths.
Thank you, Ernestine.
You're welcome.
Just a little bit of love goes a long, long way. Just a tiny ray of love brightens up a cloudy day. A kind word here, a loving deed there, a forgiving, tender heart to show somebody that you care. Jesus taught me how to love in all I say and all I do. First I give my heart to God, then I give my heart to you. A kind word here, a loving deed there, a forgiving, tender heart to show somebody that you care. Take somebody by the hand, walk together down the road. Bear a burden, wipe a tear, you can share each other's load. A kind word here, a loving deed there, a forgiving, tender heart to show somebody that you care. A forgiving, tender heart to show somebody that you care.